This amino acid is vital to prevent muscle loss as you age. And you can prevent this with food, and you need to care about this. Sarcopenia, the loss of muscle mass, strength, and function, makes you 60% more likely to die from any cause. If you clicked on this video, you've probably been inundated with the contradictory advice on protein. The internet is flooded with it, and I'm guilty too. In my book, I recommend patients keep protein to 1 gram per kilogram of ideal body weight. But this is just a starting point, and I don't find it very important now. We used to believe that you can't absorb more than 20 grams of protein per meal, and that it was even pointless or maybe detrimental to your health if you overshot that. But this was wrong. And today I'm intrigued to what those smarty pants researchers are recommending now. So let's get to the 3 biggest mistakes that I see patients make with protein. Number 1 is that patients get their priorities mixed up. Because of all this confusion, they reach for lean protein and forget about the fat. And I get it. It's hard to change your mindset about healthy eating. I see folks eat a kale salad with a half a chicken breast and a sprinkle of olive oil, feeling proud of themselves for their healthy meal. But this is not how I want you to eat. To get into fat burning mode, you have to eat fat first. So let's swap that meal around. We're going for meat first over veggies, and go for the chicken thigh and legs with skin on them, and use your veggies as a vehicle to get fat to your gut, and skip that lean protein altogether. Fatty ribeye is way more fun than a chicken breast any day. I'll get into what to eat to prevent muscle loss, but first, let's look at mistake number 2. Newbies to the ketogenic diet are most likely to fear fat. My more seasoned folks tend to fear protein. They worry that it will sabotage their weight loss, and they have a good reason. Gluconeogenesis is where the body breaks down protein into glucose, and it kicks them out of ketosis. Gluconeogenesis is demand driven, and in most people, it's like a safety net that creates glucose just enough to keep their organs online. Clinically, it is very rare that protein is the culprit for the weight loss sabotage. Before I have folks limit protein, I tell them to fast intermittently and move that eating window closer to the earlier part of the day. My patients who are carnivore eat way more than the 1 gram of protein per kilogram body weight, which is recommended for a ketogenic macro. In fact, the carnivores tell you not to limit protein at all, and they're very successful when they're my patients. And now for mistake number 3. Are you eating the right kind of protein? Ruminant animals like cows have an amazing bacteria that power their bodies to make the best protein. They can take 60 grams of plant protein and transform it into 100 grams of balanced protein. Only ruminants can do this. We cannot. Meat outshines plants in bioavailability, or your body's ability to absorb it. And eating the cow or the goat or the deer gives us an ideal balance of the amino acids that are not found if you try to do this with plants. And there's one important amino acid I want you to focus on. It's eating leucine. But first, what's an amino acid? Think back to 6th grade science class when your teacher taught you how to match up the base pairs in a DNA double strand. Your body uses these 5 building blocks to create different proteins. This wheel starts with the inner circle, and those building blocks get added to. Depending on that combination will depend on what protein your body made with these building blocks. Leucine is a special ketogenic amino acid, and it plays a crucial role in building and maintaining muscle, especially as we get older. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass. To combat this, it's vital that we not only eat enough protein, but that we also consume the right kind of protein, especially those proteins rich in leucine. So why is leucine so important? It acts like a trigger for muscle protein synthesis. This process is how your body builds new muscle after exercise. For this to happen, your body needs to have a certain amount of leucine in the meal. Research suggests that up to 3 grams of leucine per meal is that sweet spot to fully activate that muscle growth and repair. And you guessed it, the best source of that absorbable leucine is beef, pork, chicken. Yeah, you get the idea. Animal products. For older folks, this becomes even more important. As we age, our bodies don't use protein as effectively, which means hitting that leucine threshold becomes critical to keep muscle mass intact and prevent the muscle loss. Now, what protein is the worst? I tell folks to avoid protein powder altogether because in insulin-resistant folks, it can spike their blood sugars, even if there's no glucose in the powder. It's too processed for their bodies, which really means that the particle size of that protein is too small and it's stimulating insulin production. On top of that, collagen is the worst source of leucine, with very little found in each scoop, even though it says it comes from an animal source. There's lots of great things about collagen when you find it in bone broth or the connective tissue of meat, but you don't want to rely on it for your protein requirements. And never take it in the form of a shake. So what does a day in the life of optimal muscle building look like? Well, front load your protein. Eat that protein earlier in the day. Eating earlier in the day is optimal, and leucine in the morning switches on that protein protection sooner. And we want to flex those muscles to activate the process. I avoid telling patients to exercise because I focus on lowering insulin with food first. But after you get a stable rhythm with a ketogenic diet, resistance training is a really good idea for muscle protection. Use those muscles to the point where they are sore the next day. Once my patients have tackled that insulin resistance, I push their ketogenic macros from that 1 gram per kilogram of body weight up to 1.6. This is very in line with carnivore eating, and I say try it if you're worried about muscle loss. Pause this video to read the examples of what an active male should eat to meet the goals of 100 grams of protein with those 3 grams of leucine per meal. For 7 more foods that I recommend to reverse that insulin resistance, click here. I'll see you there.